Would you please lock the gates, please? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, dear friends and guests, Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you all. And I'm thrilled and excited to be here with you tonight. I'm from the Bay Area, and our chapter of CARE in the Bay Area will be having their fundraising next Saturday. And God willing, inshallah, I'll be there, inshallah, because I believe in the work and in the cause of CARE. Our dear sister, Catholic sister, Karen Armstrong, who wrote many books about Islam and about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in a very positive way, coming from a Western background, coming from a Catholic Christian background, and studying Islam and traveling extensively through the Muslim world, she has something unique to say. And one of the things that she wrote in her books about faith versus belief in general, not in the Muslim faith only, but in any faith. What is the difference between having a belief and between having a faith? And she explains that having a belief is basically listing your articles of faith. In our case, Muslims, we list 6 items. We say we believe in God, the one and only, divine, the creator of the universe, the creator of all mankind, and all of that is living. And number 2, we believe in the existence of angels. Number 3, we believe in that God sent prophets throughout history, from Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, and all that is in between, David, Solomon, Zechariah, his son John the Baptist, Yahya, you name it, we believe it. You know, especially the prophets of the Bible, almost 99% are mentioned in the Quran. We believe that God sent revelation to people. We believe that there is a day of judgment, and one has to be careful, and has to be ready, and has to be prepared for the day of judgment. That it's not a joke. That it's what keeps the believer. That is the policeman inside each and every one of us. Knowing that if you would not get caught in the court of law in this world, you will get caught in the court of law in the hereafter. That's the policeman inside every believer. At least for us Muslims, that's how we feel like. And we believe in the divine destiny, which means that God has a plan, and that good things happen in the life of people, and then there are bad things that happen in the lives of people. And when bad things happen in the lives of people, people have one of 2 choices of how to react to it. One is to react negatively, and to feel like one is a victim, one is a loser, one is a lost cause, and turn around and say, God, why did you do this to me? And why did you do that to me? And why I deserve this? And when you do that, by the way, nothing is going to get better. It's not going to get better for you to go negative and angry and mad and this and that. Or you have a choice to see that on the short run, what you see as a bad news, maybe on the long run, good news. And that's why you always hope for a better tomorrow, and for a better future. But these are the articles of faith. This is what we stand up and teach our 5 years old. آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقضاء والقدر خيره وشره. Now what's the difference between that and faith? Faith, according to Karen Armstrong, is when you actually trust your belief. When your belief says let go, you let go. When your belief says hold on, you hold on. When your belief says stand up, you stand up. When your belief says let go, humble yourself. It's okay, don't take it personal and revenge against everything that happens to you personally, then you do that. Otherwise, you will be a person who have a belief but hardly have any faith. And this is very, 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 very important, because I believe we are in a room here full of believers. What is the most distinguished thing about having a belief and having a faith, a real faith that works in real life? By the way, that distinction that she mentions is always emphasized in the Quran. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. God always says, those, the successful one, are those who have a belief and they do good deeds. They put their belief in action. Otherwise, it's just words. And the world is watching. And they will know you're just speaking words that are empty and void of meaning. And that's why, brothers and sisters, when you ask yourself, what is the most distinguished thing of having a faith? And you will find nothing less. The first thing that comes out there, that when you have a faith, and when you believe in something greater than you, above, beyond, transcendent, inclusive, creator, when you believe in such a power, a source that exists, then you realize it's not about you. Then you live your life in a completely different way. Your life is not a self-centered life. It's not a selfish life, but rather a selfless life. That's the first thing a believer and someone who has a faith has to ask himself. Do I stand up for someone other than myself? Do I believe in justice and I take that belief into action for all? Do I stand up for me and the others, my people and the other people, my cause and the other cause? Do I have something to offer? Because if you don't believe in that, and if you don't have faith in that, then you simply have nothing to offer. And simply, someone who lives his life just eating and drinking and standing up for nothing in life is someone who's just putting his life to waste, brothers and sisters. Now I know, many of us Muslims, we just want to live in peace. And we wish none of these things that happen would happen. We just want to be left alone. I know that's the wish. I just want to mind my own business. I just want to, just mind my own, things. I don't want no one to bother me, and I don't want to bother no one. Well, I have a news for you. If you say I'm a believer, and if you say I have faith, then God will test you. And you will be tried, and you will be tested. And it will be seen, do you actually have a faith or you don't? Because if you're a believer and if you have faith, you have to stand up for something other than yourself. And you cannot afford to say, I want to be left alone. You know why? Because everybody else says that, and you are the good news. As a person of faith, you are the good news that comes to people and say, hey, I care about you too. That's what touches people's life. What is it that Jesus did that touches the life of people around him? Was Jesus self-centered? Was he all about himself? Jesus could have had a very comfortable life. I have a news for you. He could have had a very nice life. And he would have bothered no one, and no one would have bothered him. But he stood up for something greater. He stood up for something above and beyond himself. Something other than just his self-interest. He stood up for the truth. He stood up for the poor people. He stood up for those who were oppressed. He stood up for those who were disadvantaged. For those who were exploited. Their blood were sucked in taxes. And in return, nothing. Don't you think Moses could have had a very good life and a happy life growing in the house of the Pharaoh? Wow! You understand what it means to grow in the house of the Pharaoh? 3,500, God knows 4,000 years ago. Why did he need to bother? Why did he, once he realized that he's an Israelite, he stood up and he saw one of the guards, royal guards of the Pharaoh having a fight with one Israelite, and he went and pushed him. Unintentionally, he killed him. Why did he stand up? And what does he get out of it? He had to run to Midian, across to the northern Arabian Peninsula, and spent 16 years. And on his way back, God calls him and says, go to the Pharaoh and call him for the truth. But if the Pharaoh refuses, ask him to release the children of Israel, to deliver them from slavery, to deliver them from this bondage, from this oppression. Go and stand up. If we Muslims believe in prophets and messengers, then we should have faith. And having faith in what we believe means that we walk in the footsteps of these prophets and messengers. God has sent Moses as a prophet of liberty and freedom. What did he want? He wanted to deliver the Israelites out of Egypt and back to a better land, to a promised land, to a place where they can live with dignity and integrity. And that's all what he did. He got the Israelites out of Egypt, he delivered them to the other side, and then he stood up, seeing them going back to the promised land at that time. And then he died on the mountains of Jordan without actually seeing the end of the story. After spending that much energy. If it is about comfort and about to be left alone, Moses would have stayed at the house of the Pharaoh and would have had a blast, would have had a good time. It was party 24 hours, brothers and sisters. He didn't need to bother. He had to go and watch the 9 signs and this and that. Prophet Muhammad, brothers and sisters, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, God bless him, be upon him and Moses and Jesus and all the others. He was in Arabia and he became a successful businessman. He was called the truthful, the trustworthy, but he made it. And a rich woman proposed to him. His boss, his manager, the one who hired him, proposed to him, and he accepted the proposal. And he got it all made, all fixed up. Financially, he basically had the Arabian dream fulfilled. Not the American dream. Yeah, the Arabian dream. What's the lowest job in Arabia? Shepherd. Because you have to go up mountains, down mountains, in the heat of the desert, in the heat of the summer, in a volcanic mountains, rock mountains, like very difficult. That's the lowest job in Arabia. What is the highest job in Arabia? Is to be a businessman. And the Prophet started from the lowest job and climbed his way up all to the top job. And when he got married and had sons and daughters, the sons died at their infancy, and his 4 daughters grew up. And they got married, and he had it all made. Why did he bother himself to go after the ills and after the injustices of the society? And when he received the first revelation and came back to his wife, he was not sure what happened to him. The experience has overwhelmed him. And his wife Khadija said, no, hold on. If I am sure about what happened to you, you are a man that hosts the traveler. You are a man who gives the poor. You are a man who stands up for the weak. You are a man who's there for the widow, who's there for an orphan. You're the best neighbor one can ask for. You are the best husband, and you are the best father to your daughters. And I pray to God that you are the messenger of this nation.